Right now, somewhere in my house, there is an AI at work. It remembers every conversation we have ever had, every project, every preference, every decision, forever. It watches my servers and infrastructure, and when something breaks or needs my attention, it reads the logs and tells me what happened in plain English. It runs my automations. It answers questions from any device in the house, and it kept answering the last time my internet went out. It cost me about as much electricity as a light bulb, and not one single bit of any of it ever leaves my house. You cannot buy that as a product. But you can build it, and over this series, we're going to build it together. Hey everybody, welcome to the Smart Workshop. I'm Joe, and this is episode 1 of Build Your Own AI Lab. Before we buy anything or type a single command, I owe you a straight answer to the only question that matters. What exactly are we building, and why would you want it? So let's get specific about what's wrong with the AI you're probably using today. There's 5 main things. First, it has amnesia. Every conversation starts from zero. It doesn't know your projects, your preferences, or what you decided last Tuesday, and it never will, because it forgets you the moment you close the tab. Sure, it has a vendor-locked simple memory, but it's always stuck with that provider. When your Frontier model choice changes to the next hot new thing tomorrow, you start all over again. The new model will know nothing about you. Second, it can't see your infrastructure. It has never seen your server closet. It can't read your logs, check whether your backups actually ran, or watch your 3D printer. Not unless you first upload your life to somebody's cloud or connect it in unsafe ways to your core systems. Third, privacy. Everything you type is processed on some company's systems under someone else's terms, and those terms change. Fourth, the meter is always running. Subscriptions, tokens, rate limits, and models that get changed or retired out from under you while you're mid-project. And fifth, when your internet connection goes down and the smartest assistant you've ever had becomes a blank text box. Now turn every one of those upside down, because that's the build. An AI with real, persistent memory. A second brain that never forgets a project or a preference. An AI with hands and eyes on your infrastructure. It can see what's running, read the logs when something's wrong, check the backups, run the automations in a completely safe and scoped way. One that answers on your own network, from your phone, your laptop, the kitchen tablet, internet or no internet. One you pay for once in hardware and then run for pennies of power. And one where privacy isn't a policy you have to trust, it's physics. The data never leaves your house. That's what we're building, not a chatbot. A colleague with a job description, now the architecture. And I want to kill a myth right here in episode 1 because it will save you real money. The myth goes like this: buy a stack of cheap little ARM boards, wire them together, and you've built yourself a tiny supercomputer that runs big AI models. I love those boards. This channel is practically made of those boards. And that story is wrong. Running a large language model is a GPU memory problem. It lives and dies on memory bandwidth and parallel compute, the things GPUs are built for. A pile of CPU-only boards does not get you a fraction of the way to what one small M-series Mac Mini can do. That's not an opinion, it's basic math, and in episode 4 we'll measure it together. So this lab is built in 2 tiers, and each tier does the job it's actually good at. Tier 1 is the always-on layer. Small ARM single-board computers. Silent, a few watts each, cheap enough to dedicate. They run everything that must never sleep: the memory, the services, MCP connectors, the automations, the network glue, the nervous system of the lab. This tier is not where the deep thinking happens. It's the eyes and ears, the tools of your AI. Lightweight, latency-tolerant tasks are processed here. It costs almost nothing to keep running around the clock, and that is exactly what you want from a nervous system. Tier 2 is the muscle. One Apple Silicon Mac and a Mac Mini is plenty. It earns its place because of one design feature: unified memory. The processor and the GPU cores share one big, fast pool, so a model that would choke a normal small machine just loads and runs. This is where the real model lives. This is the brain you wake up when there's heavy thinking to do. And here's the part I most want you to see. The product of this series isn't either tier. It's the handoff between them. The always-on layer takes a job, passes it across your own network to the muscle thinks, and hands the answer back. Once that chain exists, small machines asking, a big machine answering, all inside your walls, everything else in this series just plugs into it. Reality check, because that's what we do here. Do you need both tiers on day one? No. We start on tier 1. Next episode, we pick the hardware, and in episode 3, a real language model runs on a single small board that costs less than a dinner out for the family. No Mac required. Purely to prove the whole chain works end to end. It will be slow. It will not be a genius, and we don't need it to be. Its final job will be behind the scenes. And when you're ready for real capability, you don't buy 10 more boards. You add 1 Mac and build tier 2. Right tool, right tier. So here's the plan. 4 acts. Act 1, foundations, hardware, first model, honest measurement, and making models small enough to be practical. Act 2, the cluster, 1 board becomes 4, with shared storage and real web addresses, so the lab survives a machine dying. Act 3, the agentic stack, we give the lab a memory, hands, eyes, and a security gate in front of all of it. And Act 4, the payoff, production grade, with a real platform on top. And somewhere along the way, there's a little secret I'm saving for you. I'll just say this, I promise you won't see this coming. If that sounds like your kind of project, subscribe so you don't miss a build step. Next time we start choosing hardware, single board computer options for tier 1, Mac options for tier 2, or a mini PC, what each tier actually needs, what matters on the spec sheet, and what's a waste of your cash. I'm Joe with the Smart Workshop, and I'll see you next time.